Well, hello again. This is the way we're starting off June 1st. We are so happy that you are here with us. Myself, Karina Carj'an, and Sandy Scar. And we do have a beautiful special gift for you today. And we will call up our special guest in just a few moments. But we do want to thank everybody who is able to come to our Faith, Hope, and Love Summits last week. It was tremendous, impactful. We had so many beautiful speakers there that were giving so much wisdom, and by attending, everybody also got a gift basket from us, so you can keep the momentum going for your journey. And that is why we're here today. This is all about inspiration and just getting inspired. And there's all these different perspectives of how you can become inspired. And that's why we love to bring beautiful guests on our show. And today we have Liz O'Hara that will be with us. She is an artist, but in her artwork, she has been able to take it and transformed it a little bit more for energy coaching, but finding the frequency in fine art to help healers heal. So with that introduction, I'd love to welcome up Liz. Hi, Liz. There you are.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. So with our guests, Sandy and I would like to first ask, what is inspiration to you? People like to get a feel of the meaning or the feeling or the sensation about just what it is for you as a person.
I'm learning that inspiration is always at least one part divine guidance. And it's a really good question. So it's sort of, well, I'll just share. Can I share something?
Well, yes, the next thing we're going to ask you to do is share something, especially personal if you can, because sometimes that is the way to express what inspiration is about. So absolutely.
Okay, so yesterday I was in the parking lot at the supermarket, and there was this huge gray cloud and this giant rain. Work that I was doing. And then something else opened up in me, and I was like, I was able to sort of bring that aspect of myself back. And it was almost felt like the first time when I discovered how much I loved making things. And so there's this sort of excitement. And then of course working with other people, seeing their transformation or chatting with them and sort of discussing with them what their vision for themselves or their intention is, for our work together. Like I get really excited about that too. So I don't know if like what that feels like physically. I just know like what it feels like emotionally, I guess you could say.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. And it is revisiting the things that different elements that we were experiencing in our life, that at some point in time, it can come back and become this bigger, fuller, more beautiful thing that reignites us all over again and starts
Exactly.
inspiring. So,
Yes.
Sandy, how does that, how does art resonate with you? Because then we're going to get into Liz's art a little bit, and then everybody's going to have to go visit Liz to see really more about what her artwork is about. But on the inspiration level, now, Sandy loves the art of jewelry. I can tell you that.
Mm.
Sandy, would you like to share a little bit of that?
Sure. So I love color, and color lights me up, but it also speaks to me because each color has a different energy frequency. And just like the rainbow, you never see two rainbows that are alike. And if you look at each color in the rainbow, it has a message for you, and you can be inspired by that. And so that's what rainbows mean to me. And that's why they're unique, like Karina said, to everybody, because none of us look at things the same. So God sends us this wonderful rainbow full of messages for us. If, like you said, Liz, we take the time to look and listen. So that's how I feel about rainbows.
It's beautiful.
And you are in the land of rainbows, because in New Mexico, there are tons of rainbows all the time. That's one of my homes is New Mexico, my spiritual home, and huge skies, beautiful rainbows all the time. So it's pretty magnificent. So in your artwork now, Liz, combining that artwork with the energy frequency portals, tell us a little bit more about that. And we all know to a degree, not everybody out there, but as we feel this joy, we do raise our vibrations. And of course, that's where we really want to reside. So tell us a little bit about your artwork.
Sure. So I was a practicing energy healer, and I still am. When, like I said, I discovered this sort of new excitement about returning to the artist part of myself. And as an energy healer, I use my hands a lot to move the energy when I work with people. And I discovered that I could record that healing process. And so actually what I do when I create these is it's a photography process. So I put lights on my hands, I open the shutter, and I perform a healing. And I will perform a series of healings and see what is captured through the lens. And then I will be guided to the one moment or set of moments that have been captured as the image that represents the whole deal. So it's in a way it's sculpture, that I'm recording, because I'm doing a lot of this type of moving things, and it's a record of the movement of the energy, of the opening of the space, for my my client, or sometimes I do a limited edition as I'm guided to do. But it's an opening of space for them to receive through the energy of the image. So it's never static. It's always, I sort of, I'm learning how to talk about this still a bit, but it's both a work of art, and it's also a continuous flow of healing. That's how people have sort of communicated it back to me. And like I said, that's what really excites me, you know. So
Well, I'm going to share a little bit about that. Okay, because sometimes, first off, sculpting light is that is a good analogy of what's going on with you, because even in Reiki and stuff, it is the movement, and as practitioners, we can see different things, but it doesn't mean the person on the other side can see these things. So to see this beautiful flow of these colors, of the energy that's going on, is just magnificent. But it doesn't always go the way you think it's going to go, does it?
that's
But
true.
at the
Yeah.
same time, you get inspired to be in a certain place with Mother Earth before you even necessarily take this on. And for the person receiving, they may not get it directly, but then through somebody else may end up reading a message that comes through that image, and then give it back to the other person. And I can say that because that's what happened with me. You did a beautiful image for me. I wasn't reading or feeling what was happening with it, but I knew to give it over to Sandy to take a look and receive whatever message was in it, because I knew there was something, but it was something that Sandy was connected with, that they spoke to her through that image. And it ended up being nothing new that I didn't know, but it was a very serious confirmation for myself, and actually for you at the same time. So I thought that was pretty fantastic, the way the whole thing worked out.
Yeah, I love when that happens. Actually, I it's funny, I posted on Facebook. I'm just realizing I posted on Facebook this morning to invite people to your page. I don't know if you saw that, for this conversation. And I used an image, a photograph that has a rainbow in it, and that I took in the spot where I opened space to make the portal that I sent to you.
Oh, well, that is very synchronistic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we will be.
I didn't even realize it until just right now.
Well, Spirit has a way of orchestrating these amazing, beautiful things. And we will have a replay link for today and for the other replays that have happened. So whenever somebody feels that they want a little bit of a boost, or they missed you and they wanted to see you, they'll have the opportunity to be able to go to the YouTube channels and be able to get right in when there aren't tech glitches, because we've hit a few, but okay. And so we just roll with it. The energy doesn't always want to cooperate from a technological point of view, but it doesn't stop us. So the inspiration, when you were talking about it, it's clear how it inspires you, because your face lights up. So from a physiological point of view, for our viewers out there, if something can make you smile, when you think of it, or even more, kind of start making you beam about something, trust me, you are being inspired on the moment. So take notice that that is what you're feeling at that moment. And then try and notice what just gave you that sensation. Because sensations do follow. And it's a gift to be able to be inspired. And it's there to bring joy into your life. And so you want to now start taking the time to start noticing this. Because yes, we're getting bombarded with a whole bunch of stuff, which is on the opposite spectrum. So we all want to bring more light to you into this world, and all the different diverse ways that we function here. Everybody has gifts and talents. And it doesn't mean that you have to be out there working with clients, coaching, or anything huge. It's about living your life to a more joyous state, because then you just start radiating and you automatically impact other people around you. So that's pretty fantastic onto itself. San?
Yeah, and I just want to add, you know, Sandy, we've conversed a little bit, Karina a little bit more, and I really see that you two live the way you speak, you know, in that joy and seeking out that inspiration. And I just want to acknowledge that in both of you.
Thank you very much. And we have human frailties that we still work through, and but that's okay. You know, it's all a process, and our journey is actually our destination. So it's more about enjoying the entire journey, things that go sideways and things that elate us. You know, it's just pretty amazing to finally be in such a state and live in such a state and have the tools when things do go sideways, to make life more joyous and to help other people get there. So art is, as an artist myself, I'm an artisan. Few modalities: photographer, jewelry designer, craftsman. I appreciate the impact and the beauty that art brings into this world. You know, centuries ago, artisans were revered. Think about that. For the longest time, they had all these patrons that would support them because art was so important. And then somehow it got swept under the rug. And like, oh yeah, I'm a starving artist. Well, you know, that doesn't work for me. Art is a gift in all its forms, and it's something that should be revered. So I seriously encourage you to keep doing the beautiful work that you're doing, Liz. It is outside of the box too, which Sandy and I can really relate to, which we love. And it is about the energies and frequencies that you're able to bring forth to the individuals that you're working with, to help expand them, to raise their frequencies. And then things become clearer, of course. And I'm all about clarity connection. So it is very important. Is there anything else before we wrap this up that you would like to share, Liz?
I actually do, because of something that you brought up about the connection to nature. Because I know we had a little bit of a conversation before I made the frequency portal for you, about where I was. And for the last few months, my husband and I and our 4 children have been traveling across the country. And there are, I feel like when people show up to say, I like this work, I feel like there is often, the place that I am is actually like right for them, like whether it's by the water or in the mountains, or something like that. And I just want to say about this trip, because two of my kids are teenagers, and so I think it's going to be quite some years before I get a definitive answer on whether this was like an experience of a lifetime or something that they needed to contend with that their parents put them through. But in the process, they both have their own, like, artistic eye, and they've been taking a lot of photographs, and the two of them have come together and decided to open an Etsy shop and put their photographs out there. And so like, I don't know what my role is here as a parent, but that was really inspiring for me to see them sort of, collaborating and deciding to do this on their own. And I'm not so sure that that would have happened had we not been guided to take this trip. So you never know how things will unfold.
You don't, and that is extremely inspiring, and especially because they're your kids,
Yeah.
that you can tell that the trip has such an impact. And you did send me a couple of pictures so I could see where you were, and your husband took this beautiful picture of the full moon, and so I could actually be where you were when you were creating this piece, this image. So
Yeah.
I thought that was very special,
Thanks. Yeah.
and I
I didn't
really
think of it that
appreciated
way.
that.
Yeah.
So I really, really encourage you to keep embracing this direction.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Karina.
I
And
think
thank
it's
you
very
so much for
magnificent.
inviting me today. I
Oh,
really enjoyed this
absolutely. I believe in
conversation.
you very much. And so does Sandy. And so that's why we have you here as a guest, because the light that you bring, every one of us brings our light differently, and our frequency is a little different. And sometimes we can reach somebody, and sometimes we can't, but there are always people that we can reach. And to have your shining light here today, we'll be reaching a lot of people, whether it's right here, right now, live, or on the replays. It does not matter. Just know that you're going to keep shining now and influencing people on inspiration, and to start embracing it.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you so much.
So we thank you very much. San, any concluding comments, love?
Well, I just believe in Liz, like you said, in her work. And I encourage the viewers to go look at her work and really take a moment to be present with her work, because each picture has a message for each individual, and that message is different for everybody. So take that moment out of your busy days and visit Liz's work, because you will be inspired and you'll come away thinking differently.
Thank you, Sandy.
That is so true. So before we conclude, I want you to know that we will be back on the 15th, every first and third Thursday of the month. We're here one way or another, and we will have all different guests. Sometimes it'll be myself, sometimes it's Sandy, sometimes we get to have a guest that's able to come back after they've done certain things and want to share. But I would like to share one last closing thing to follow up our beautiful summit that Sandy and I had just this last week, which is our second one of the year. And there is another one coming at the end of the year. So stay tuned and you'll see the posts as things happen. But I am going to be doing a 3-day challenge on clarity connection. We had a lot of people register for us. We did a little faux pas. It was right before Memorial Day weekend. Not the best timing. We had wonderful people show up, but I was led and inspired to do 3 days of the challenge, and that's a week right in front of before I start my 6-week program. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be, you're going to start to see posters on that to come and join that 20th through the 22nd. And yes, you do become involved, because the goal is to keep getting you more connected and giving you tools to do just such. So until then, we thank you all so much. Get inspired, look around, stay quiet, notice, just stop everything for a moment, even if you're just stop to breathe and listen to your breath. You will be amazed. We want you to have such joy in your lives, and we want you to flourish in your lives and have the tools when things are a little bit more difficult and sideways, so you don't stay stuck in it very long. So until then, have the most blessed weekend coming up, and we will see you soon. See you later. Bye-bye.